I've never done this before.
Okay, well, let's get rid of red. And I was right. Mine didn't show up because you know it sucks. But well, I mean, this is actually a disaster. This doesn't look good at all. Oh my god! But they can hear us, so that's the good news.
Hello!
House.
Hello!
Why, hello there.
I guess
Stay a while, listen.
some of this was cropped, so that explains some of it.
So see, actually, if we had done it, you probably could have just actually kept your camera on like what we just had, and then, what you call it, just screen region this whole thing, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, that might have been a better choice. I mean, it's actually. I mean, I can still do it. Here we go. Here we
I
go.
don't know, dude. It might be too late. There might just be no going back at this point.
Oh, well, it's like a little bit awkward because like, there's no way to. You just fucking dabbed, didn't you?
What?
Get me out of
Zoom
here.
tight. Zoom tight, me. Self zoom tight.
Oh no. Wow, that was
Is there a way for
That
me
wasn't
to
even on
not...
purpose. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just saw the opportunity for it.
The
Every
dynamic
time I
view
think there's
sucks,
hope
right?
for humanity and mankind.
Dynamic view is really gonna be awkward. No, this is gonna. Nah, this changes too much. It's so weird.
Well, I'm making a tweet, so let me know when we're good to talk to the fans.
I said they can hear us.
I do it all for the fans.
I said they can hear us. Dude, it works out fine.
I know
Oh.
they can hear us.
so they didn't see Rivkin's sneeze dab.
No, I think they did. They did.
Shit! I thought you said they could just hear us.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's up
They can
with
also
that?
see.
Wait, what?
You know what? As if,
This
as
is
if
so
my dab wasn't
unfair.
bad enough, guys, let me just add to the torture.
Thank goodness that there's not like a 144 hertz camera so you can actually see it spin, and instead
Rapid
it just kind
casting.
of skips wildly.
Rapid casting.
Yes.
I need healing.
Because it's like a Genji. Get it? You get it?
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Cool. All right then. Well, this seems like it's as good as it's gonna get, to be honest. She's not very good,
Doing it live, boys.
but
At some point, you just have to take what you can get.
right? Either like
These are the
it seems no matter
compromises.
what, I'm just gonna be the tiny camera on the bottom that can barely be seen. So that's fine. Somewhat. I kind of prefer it that way.
Are you the Fear Dragon camera? The really tiny one we just stuck in the corner?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So, all right, guys.
So a lot of times you can just capture your camera through,
Through obs.
yeah.
Then I wouldn't be able to show it like on this screen with you guys. Like it's easier overall to just have one screen.
We
region
should have done a
instead.
rehearsal!
Because I also could have like originally what I was gonna do, right, was like screen region you guys and then have my own camera that you guys couldn't see but the stream could see. But then it broke because it does that. Actually, it's good news though, because you know why it broke this time is not because OBS is crappy about video cameras. Actually, this is actually starting to give me a headache. It's because I finally fixed my air conditioner so I could unplug my damn USB fan. So praise be,
I've
and
been really
that made my
into this.
computer just freak the fuck out. Like my computer was like, I don't know, there's no third USB anymore. I can't deal with this. So it broke the OBS setting. So,
Nice!
yeah, exactly.
I can't believe we live in a world where those things are all related together. But what a magical existence we live in.
I know.
I am now watching through the delay the amazing setup Zombiegrub's been doing.
Oh yeah, no,
Thank
this
you.
is the best part of the stream by far.
Thank you. I think it's fantastic. Anyways,
It is. Nobody's saying otherwise. We're all agreeing.
yeah. So let's actually explain what's happening today. So yesterday, me and Rifkin, as usual, cast a round of 8. Today,
Rifkin and
however,
I.
we have 2 extra casters, and we have decided upon a casting order. So no, it will not be a quadruple cast.
Aww.
I know.
The biggest disappointment of today.
I know, it really is. But rather, we will start things off with the ZvZ between TLO and Snute's best of 5 semifinal with Zeph and I. That's the way it's gonna go.
Oh, she gets proper. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, and then and for the next series, which is Euthermal versus Lambo, I believe it's gonna be me and Rapid Casting, and then for the finals, I will stay quiet and just observe, and they will tag team around the best of 7. So, it's all
Guys,
Gucci.
I got a hot problem for you here. as an adult, I don't think I ever learned how to tie the end of a balloon, and I can't. Like,
Just like
Just keep
stretch
it in your
around your
mouth.
finger.
I never really
No,
learned
can I
how
duct
to.
blow
tape?
the balloon up.
what if I
and
duct
hold
taped
it?
it closed? Okay, yeah. Anyways, the finals is when Rifkin's gonna be back, so I'm gonna fuck off for 2 best of 5s, decorate my room, because there we go. It's my birthday. Woo! Happy birthday
So-
to me!
One thing we did not cover is how do we want to like
Ooh, I wonder.
individually Skype, or we're just gonna keep the cameras on, and then
Yes.
You
Good
know.
question.
So is people who just like turn off their cameras if they don't want to be on camera when they're not casting. How about that?
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
'Cause I
Okay.
think that'll still work on the whole screen region thing. And
It's all a clever
Oh,
ruse,
so
you don't
the
have-
other 2 of us will have to actually be here watching games and pretending like we know what we're interested in. Okay, got it.
no, you just turn your camera off.
Oh, I thought you wanted us to stay in the call for some reason then, or no?
No, but that's what I'm asking. Do you guys want to like drop this call and just individually call?
I'm just gonna turn my camera off and mute my microphone. I don't know about
Okay.
everybody else.
I think that's probably the easiest way.
See, that's what I suggested. So we're gonna
Yeah.
go with that then.
You're so smart,
Sorry.
Zombie Girl.
I am
How do you come up with all your great ideas?
That's why she's calling the shots.
Well, first I fix my air conditioning, and then it just comes.
Dude,
to
she's
me.
on a roll. Don't stop her. She's on a roll. AC first, then the world.
All right, let's. Does anyone want to join the game? I guess. Like, why not?
All right, I'm gonna take off and watch. I'll hang out and chat. I'll see you guys in a bit. Good luck,
Then-
Zeph and Rapid. I look forward to see you guys in the finals.
Then we're gonna go. Let's do this, Zeph. Everyone
Let's do
else
it.
mute
It's
their mics
happening.
and shit.
Hey,
Cool.
do you think balloons are flammable? Just as a side note before I leave.
Yes. Yes, they are. If you put the flame up, they'll explode into a ball of flame.
You guys are just gonna randomly hear a pop during one of these casts because I've blown up with a balloon in the background.
I mean,
Please, no.
like you will actually like pop the balloon if you put the heat in your
Yeah,
hand.
I'm fully aware. It was a
But
rhetorical.
I mean, did you know about the fireball that exists after?
That's only if it's got like helium or something inside of it, dog. This is like I blew
I'm
something with my
pretty
breath.
sure
Do you think
it
I
works with
exhale
air.
helium?
You do know oxygen is flammable, right, Rifkin?
All right, we're in the game. Get out of here, you guys.
Well, dude, why is it the air burning right now, Reed? Huh? Explain that.
It is.
You
What
can't
do you think
explain
the
it.
flame is made of?
Flames come in,
Oh my
flames
God.
go out. Can't explain it.
Well, I
See you
think
guys
we're learning more about flames than we're about StarCraft 2. It's a best of 5, guys, and I am joined by only Zeph. In the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, he is Liquid Snute.
And the top left, his opponent for today. It is Liquid TLO.
Alright, so yeah, ZvZ. Zeph is a Zerg player. I guess it's been a while since you've been on BaseTradeTV. I mean, not too long actually, but I still want to say like more than a month, right?
Yeah, we got to cast together at DreamHack, didn't we? So it hasn't been as long as it might have been before that, which is pretty good. By the way, just for the stream, I've been really sick for a couple of weeks, so if I sound awful, I'm sorry. I'm trying, and I'll try and speak more clearly because I know I sound a little croaky, so bear with me, please.
It sounds fine. Your Australian accent makes up for everything.
Thank goodness for that. So, yeah, ZvZ, I'm pretty pumped. I don't get enough of my ZvZ anymore. There was once upon a time where my region of WCS was all ZvZ, not so much anymore. So pretty pleased to see some EU Zergs of all things, because I never get to cast EU. But it looks like a pretty quiet opening here, nothing too crazy right off the bat.
Yep. I mean, these guys obviously know each other quite well, being on the same team for a long time, as well as just being two European Zergs, man. They have a whole, like, clique, right, going on. But it is,
Yeah.
It's 2 out of 3 Team Liquid players, in fact. Thermal's waiting on the other side of the semifinals, so it's not like we could avoid a Team Liquid kill. He'll be facing Lambo. Yesterday was Europe versus NA. Europe, obviously, dominated.
Yeah.
They all made it here, and they're on a 4. Which is, I guess, like, in some parts, like, this is what people kind of expected, but in other parts, like, there was a lot of, like, outside factors, I suppose. Not the best time, certainly, for some of those guys, but yeah, I just think, you know, it's whatever. It happens. But it does mean that everything is on Europe today, so no worry about cross-server lag or ping, whatever that is. So it should be like a nice and clean ZvZ too. No like brutal mistakes because there's a little bit of delay.
Yeah, that's it. So at least it evens the playing field a little bit in terms of the server. And really impressive run from the Europeans so far. That said, Snute is actually going to be the aggressor in this game. He's sending over a bunch of lings from a couple of different paths towards TLO's base. TLO's trying to sort out some sort of wall here. He's got the queens at the front, but banelings are going to come right on in. They don't hit too much to start things off, but they are going to get a great surround on these queens.
Yeah, this is like feeling almost like game over. TLO's so greedy here. No wall, no real wall. You try to do wall with drones, and then a fast lair skipping speed and a baneling nest. Well, Snute, he just, I mean, it really seemed easy decision to go ahead and crack that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy damage from Snute here, and TLO is struggling to clean this up. In fact, he can't, and GG, there's game number 1 going to Snute.
Very cool. So yeah, this is a beautiful little screen region of Skype here. Reed's profile picture is still here. Very cool. All right, well that works. But yeah, like very very quick ZvZ. I guess, you know, try to go for the bit of greed. Didn't work out. Oh well.
Yeah.
Go on to the next thing, which is gonna be Sequencer. But spent most of that time talking about not the game.
Pretty much. It was kind of 0 to 100 real quick, and then it was over. So, that's what happens sometimes when you play the build TLOs was going for. I actually don't like that build at all because it's so scary. You have to kind of play it against people you know are going to sit back. But you know what? It's a best of 5, so he's more than welcome to take that gamble this early on.
Yeah, so a lot of games to go. I mean, and as you said, if they know the player would sit back. And Snute's, I mean, certainly stereotypically, but not entirely accurately, like a macro player, right? It's just that I think any good player is going to always have that aggressive game every now and again. And also, in ZvZ, I feel like it's an extra little something to really just be passive in it. You know, there's, even if you take like a fast third, there's usually the ling, like, you know, 16 lings behind it to try and scuffle around your opponent's third too. So I don't know, just thinking there wouldn't be any type of bust. It was a dangerous thing to guess. But game number 2 on Sequencer. In the top rights, already down 1, it is Liquid TLO.
And his opponent in the bottom left, spawning in the red, it's Liquid Snute.
I believe there are vetoes. TLO vetoed Blood Boil, which I think he's done every single time. Doesn't like that map much at all. Snute vetoed Ascension to Ire, of all things. I thought that was actually kind of a weird one. I mean, Defender's Landing is usually the other veto. Good guess of a veto. But no, they're actually eventually going to play on it. I guess if it goes all 5 games.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm not sure why Ascension to Ire. I guess some people don't like the third positioning on that map, which I guess is fair enough. But for ZvZ, I don't really see it as much of a issue. I don't know. Maybe it's just personal preference. Bad luck on that map, or there's certain builds he wants to throw out that just aren't going to work there.
Yeah, that's probably it. I've had very limited experience recently playing in a tournament, and for TVZ I had very like strict, like I really don't want to play in these maps. But for like TVP and TVT, for instance, I was just like, you know, oh, I don't really care, but just like, I guess I don't really like this map overall, so I'm gonna go to knock that out. So yeah, it comes down to personal preference sometimes. But let's check this out. Snute and TLO going for identical builds. They're based in the same locations too.
Getting on that delicious greed. No speed early on, of course, with this build. So in reality, they're both going to be able to get away with it, and I'm keen to see who's actually going to be the aggressor first, because you are kind of stuck when you do this. You have no choice but to get your queens and your drones. Obviously, that's the aim of the build, but it'll be a little while before anything speedy is out on the map. And then it gets kind of interesting because it's one of those matches where you have to try and find an edge when your opponent's doing the exact same thing. So it'd be cool to see how they actually try and pull that off.
Yeah. I think we, just BaseTradeTV saw a game like this, but the one big difference was that one of the players, I think it was Bly, got like a gas, like one gas, but still a fast third. And that actually ended up throwing off the entire thing. Like, he still got the fast third, he still ended up droning really hard after that, realizing his opponent went gasless. But even still, mining 100 gas and like one gas really put him behind. It was like a real snowball effect. But like this game, they have both of them do the exact same thing. Up until this point, Snute is going to grab an Overlord. TLO not so much. But TLO also went for those faster double gases.
Yeah, he did. And he does get a nice scout around the base, so he has full knowledge of what Snute is actually going for. Whereas Snute himself hasn't really seen that just yet, but seeing an absence of speed will tip him off, even though the Overlords are just about to reach there anyway. Although, actually, his Overlord did take a lot of damage from those Queens, so he's probably got an idea of what build it is anyhow. But yeah, so Snute, on the other hand, is actually gonna not bother with link speed or anything just yet. He's going straight into the Roach one, which is a little bit different to what TLO's done.
Yeah. Faster lair by far for TLO. We got the much faster gas, and just also like you looking to invest into it. He got that early evolution chamber that does like usually precede the Roach Warren at this point in time. Usually you do see that start +1. So we're waiting on that.
Yeah, so Snute will have a nice little window here where he'll have that +1 advantage if he wants to push it, unless he wants to wait for the +2, because the +2 is kind of the real heavy hitter that will make or break the fight, whereas +1, depending on numbers and defender's advantage, you may not actually be able to punch your way in there. We'll see how he goes, because it's still a little while before he grabs that lair, and without roach speed, he can't really move across the map too bravely.
Yeah.
And yeah, TLO has decided to take a different tech route.
Yeah, so I guess +1 melee and Aspire, and is also like even getting like maybe a couple of roaches to really play up the idea of it being roach versus roach. And that's pretty cool. It's been a while since I've kind of seen like a fake roach warren. Certainly we see roach warren into Spire or vice versa, but the point is like if you actually use that roach warren, get +1 all that. So this is actually going to be a complete surprise. So I mean it kind of works out though. That's always the scary thing, is that you try and surprise your opponent, but they still attack you anyways. And you're like, well, okay, the trick didn't work because you killed me. But it's not gonna, there's no trick here because his lair was basically a whole layer delayed. That means his roach speed is only like not even halfway done, and he'd really be waiting for that to push across the map. He has a decent number of roaches, so I guess he could, but by then the mutas would be out. Yeah, exactly. They're starting now.
Yeah, so this is actually a pretty cool build from TLO. Is this a thing in EU? Are people doing this regularly? Do you know?
Well, funnily enough, you asked me like a year ago, and I'm like, ZvZ, like EU, like, let me tell you about this stuff. But like the past 4 or 6 months, we're doing a lot more Korean stuff, so I can't say that it's too common, but I'm like still fairly sure, because we at least cast Europe every now and then, that it is a rarity. Like it's still weird to have such a trick build appear again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I haven't seen it in a while, but I've been in my own little Sea and Oceania bubble, so cool to see how this is gonna work out. We do have the mutas out on the field now, and a bunch of links sweeping around to that 4th base of Snute at the same time, so let's see how much they're actually able to pick off. The spores are just finishing up for Snute right on time. But, of course, being mutas, there's basically always something that you can nibble at. Might even get some great damage at this 4th base, because Snute is way out of position with those roaches, only just now coming in to deal with that.
Ooh, specifically targets the spore crawlers, so the mutas continue to do damage. The queens are on their tail, however, and there's really not that many mutas. So it's still, it's only 4 drones lost. That's not so bad, but that was almost a really powerful combo.
Yeah, the idea was there. It was just not quite able to work out. But, any damage is good damage. And behind this, he is taking up into Hive. He's got that Carapace upgrade about to finish and the +2 melee on the way. Mutas are also getting +1, and Overlord speed is coming into the mix as well.
Yeah.
So he's really been able to tech up hard behind this because Snute can't really push across the map with too much success at the moment. He doesn't even really have any map vision.
No, he doesn't. That is a problem. I mean, he from the get-go, from the very beginning of this game, he didn't even get like 2 lings into the main base, so he has very little knowledge of what's happening here. He doesn't know if there's a transition to roaches or if it is that fast hive. I think at this point, seeing all of these lings, he's going to guess no roaches, and they're just going to go ahead and take out these roaches. There's just too many of them. Overseer.
Oh, it looks like he will be able to catch him.
Yep, there you go.
Very nicely done from TLO. That is actually a lot of lings. And he's still reigning supreme here on the map. Snute can't really catch a break, and he himself is starting to go into hive at this point, obviously at a much slower rate than his opponent, and grabbing himself lurkers as well, which is a pretty cool move. But with the mutas in play, you'd hope that TLO might actually be able to catch a glimpse of what's going on here, especially if he's getting up into the main.
These slings are 1-1, but the roaches are 2-1, so they're actually... they gotta be careful how they take the fights, but they just go for the hive. No. Dang.
Wow.
Alright.
Very nicely done from TLO. He actually gets the whole structure. That really throws a spanner in the works for Snute here because his tech just can't advance. He's going to have to remake a lair if he wants to move up into hive. He has got his lurker dent finishing, so he can start to get that tech out. He's taking a 5th base with this as well. So he really is playing that sort of sit back and macro up sort of play because he can't really do much against the mobility of TLO.
Well, he did kind of sneakily get these roaches. I thought TLO noticed. Maybe he did, but he just simply doesn't have like very powerful units. He's got to wait for those roaches, or the Ultralisk rather. The Ultralisk might just pop out in time with the fungals coming down here.
Yeah, this might just be in the nick of time. TLO actually doesn't have a lot on the ground here, so these first couple of ultras are going to be important. Using the fungals to delay, great moves here from Snute. No, TLO, getting confused with my Zergs. He's actually targeting down these structures at the front here, but the ultras finished the job just to muscle their way out here into Snute's army, and he will be able to clean that up and at least save that +3 attack upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny, but TLO really didn't need the Roach Warren, so let the Ultras be free. They're chasing here. They're gonna have chitinous plating as Snute has to pull back, and they're gonna have like those lings as supporting them are gonna have 3-2 eventually. Snute is, I think, in a lot of trouble just because I was like originally not so excited about that hive going down because I was like, Vipers are cool and his own Broodlords or Ultras are cool too, but Lurkers I think are an okay response. And, well, it was scary because he didn't have them. I mean, they take kind of a long time to morph in here, but TLO not ready to push in, just backed off, and the Lurkers are going to be done.
Yeah. Well, he can use those to ward off TLO at this point. And it's actually really helpful because he's trying to multi-prong him at the moment, so he's finally able to take a little bit of control back. He's got a couple of groups of roaches moving around. It's still a little tricky to tackle these units from TLO just because he's not quite fast enough. But he's starting to build up quite an army. I mean, he's almost maxed out, and he can get to that point where he doesn't mind trading a few units out. We can see him making a lot of spines here as well, so he's really going full turtle.
Yeah. And a little bit of Sim City, like the Lurkers themselves, of course, are going to have a lot of damage, but having that Sim City protecting them too is like usually a pretty good move on Snute's side of things. Yeah, 8 more Spine Crawlers coming down. Both are quite, like, they're actually pretty ready and willing to get to this late game, it seems. I think TLO, maybe facing a different player, just completely blindsides them with the super fast hive and ultras, but Snute's been dealing with this actually quite calmly and almost as if he does kind of expect it. And now we have his hive again starting, this time with a Spire accompanying it, so it is going to be potentially Broodlord versus Broodlord.
Oh boy. This could get interesting pretty fast. TLO's loaded up all these Overlords. I was actually wondering if he'd use them, because I noticed he got the speed earlier on, but It looks like it is time for these little overlords to shine. It's filled up with lings and ultras. When's the last time you saw ultra drops? My goodness. But there's a lot of static defense here, and these actually kind of ill-fated drops. The first couple don't really do anything. Let's see if the ones going to the main can be a little more successful.
Yeah, I feel like if Snute was paying attention, I think he's microing his own drop or tunneling claws roaches every now and then. I feel like the high just could have gone for the overlords, but regardless, it wasn't too far of a jump to the main base. The lurkers even come back here. Oh, I actually don't know what that was that just got killed. Okay, I think it's just an evolution chamber. So not really bad at all. Oh no, it was invitation pit. Oh, now it is.
Yeah, that's a little more important.
Yeah.
But all in all, like, not that much damage, but at the same time, he sweeps in from the right-hand side of the map. He's gonna take out this 5th base again. He's just not letting Snute get this extra economy going with these new bases. And he looks like, is he gonna press the issue, or is he gonna back out here? It's a tricky position with all those spines and the lurkers coming back. But he looks like he really wants to make something happen here. Now that the Vipers are out on the field as well, and the Blinding Clouds do go down, he's going for it.
Yeah, those are a lot of Blinding Clouds with some Fungals too. Snoot's trying to micro out of them. Some were successful, maybe enough were successful with the help of the Spine Crawlers. He just barely, it feels, takes out that huge Ultralisk army. And TLO has to disengage.
Yeah, he does. An extra 5 ultras coming in behind us and a few more lings, but the real beef of his army has taken a backseat for the moment. At least the Vipers are still alive, but he is going to have to take a bit of a breather before he goes in there again. Maybe just with the lings, TLO can keep trying to deny these bases or pick off some workers. He is actually going to make a break for the main or natural. Thinks about trying to get that +3 for a moment there, but he's going to dive into the main again.
Okay. I was like,
yeah,
those are
not so
3-3 Adrenal Gland Lings. Could they really have gotten the hive again? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe if Snute wasn't quite so on the ball, it wouldn't take long at all. It's already hurt, too.
Well, Snoot, you know, he has money, but he's not really filling his supply. I guess he really was waiting to get to Broodlords. But that could be a mistake. Okay, grabbing queens and everything.
Yeah, well, I think the real problem here is the fact that Snute can't get another base up. How's his bases looking, actually? So that 4th base is really the only one that's got some kind of...
Uh-oh. Finally just lose her in general? I think we did. Oh, no. Looks like Zeph and the Australian internet strikes again.
This is why we need to be actually in the game.
Yeah, right. You can just fill in, man. Amazing. Ah, she actually did not drop out of StarCraft.
I've surrendered, so...
Oh, okay, there we go. Because it was the starting to lag a little bit again. There, okay, well, I guess it's back to a solo cast. Too bad, because it's a pretty epic match going down here.
Guys.
Ah, well. Alright, so Snute gets back. I was gonna say, like, you know, we were just talking about the economy before she dropped out, and how Snute just really can't grab one. But it's also a problem of him not being able to deny TLOs either. Like, there's been attempted tunneling claw harassment, but it barely hasn't worked out, so he finally got back up here to the top left base, TLO's healthy mining base, but still not really getting much done. Snoot's also just down 10 workers too, so as he double expands, cleans up the roaches, double expands, and I like this move a lot. There's actually, like, not as many drones to fill this out completely. Of course, he's going to be transferring a lot from every base, but yeah, TLO will probably keep the consistent income, but Snute has been playing pretty smart. So he has Broodlords, but still down 40 supply. Well, these roaches actually managed to get away. Surprising. Maybe able to do something. There's only gas mining, though. There's like 80 gas left in this. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Okay, Snute has his own Vipers now on the way. I mean, you know, that hive going down, he still had the lurkers to survive, but I think that is still, like, an important word, is that it was survival. Like, ideally, his hive didn't go down, and he's been on a more complete finish composition like TLO's for a lot longer. So he's had to make do up until now. But it's Ultras versus Broodlords. Obviously, Broodlords would win this out. I don't think TLO has any... Oh, nice couple Corruptors here, but that's it. But it's just that there's so many Ultras that even if the Broodlords, you know, try their best to kill them, they're gonna get a lot of damage done. There are 8 Lurkers that need to get in position to help out with that damage. And I guess maybe the Spine Crawlers are enough, really, too, for TLO to be a little hesitant, because it's combination Broodlings and Spine Crawler walls that are going to make the Ultras just, well, take a long time to die, but still eventually die, because they're just derping around everywhere. Broodlords can be kind of tricky, as they can be abducted. They lost that Frenzy or whatever a long time ago. And Snute just did not have a lot of Corruptors. Now the reinforcements come in here, and he got... Queen's on the ground as well, so we might just win the air war. Maybe not, 7-6. I think that TLO's reinforcing as well. I think there's been some parasitic bombs, which don't do much damage, but it is something. Spine Crawler's doing work on these Lurkers, the Ultras. The Lurkers finally come through, and that's especially what Snute needed to really push this back. If they were here from the get-go, I think all of these Ultras are dead, but as it is, they barely survive and are looking to kill the economy once again. TLO's Broodlords die. He did officially lose the air war, but Snute's maybe going to lose his hive. He lost his 5th. Is he going to lose his hive? I think he's losing... Yeah, he lost his hatchery over here, and there's an evolution chamber over there. Oh, the hive. Oh, the hive's going to go down. There's no transfuses. I think Snute also just lost... Oh no, actually, Herb alive. Alright, so this is the hive again. The good news is that I think he still has defense against TLO's attempting attacks. TLO's running around everywhere trying to get these Ultras to actually find a decent position, but these Lurkers are here at this 5th, 4th, whatever you want to call it now, that so many bases have died. And while they're trying to chunk away at these Ultras, they are 3-3 with chitinous plating, so even as they die, they take out what is really Snute's last mining base. That's his second to last hatchery. This is the only hatchery alive right now. Lurkers are taking forever to kill this Ultra. There's not enough of them, and it keeps on roaming around. Spine Sport. Oh my god. So many structures have gone down that Snute is actually going to throw him back to the Stone Age here. He can build from his Greater Spire and his Roach Warren. And that's really it. No Lings, no Hydralisk Den. He can't rebuild that either because he lost his hive and as such his lair. Okay, the Ultra Burrows. A massive air army for Snute, though, is like his one chance. Unfortunately, losing a Viper there just to a couple of Queens. Not what you want. I don't remember if I've ever seen Corruptors pee on Zerg buildings before in ZvZ, to be honest. I mean, it happens versus Protoss, it seems, often enough. But in ZvZ, they're usually, you know, defending Broodlords or becoming Broodlords, or just not ever made, because how long does ZvZ actually go? Not usually 20 minutes. So they take out a couple of important tech structures as well as a couple of Overlords. I think he still has more, too. Yeah, 13 for Snute to 10 of TLO, so he would also win that war unless the Queens get involved. That, you know, they're there defensively. Ling's still causing havoc on the other side of the map, trying to deny Snute's double expansion again. I like the double expansion. Down to 34 drones. That might be just enough. Just enough for 2 bases. I'm afraid that's because TLO hasn't really had his economy ruined, though. This is just a matter of time. TLO has had this base and kept it alive the entire time. He's had this base for a while, and this is a brand new one that he could transfer drones to eventually. The army supplies really aren't that different, though, which is why I'm still like, you know, can Snute really do it? Can the air work out? But he doesn't have any Broodlords. His Corruptors are just really being scary without any actual... Well, at least they can kill buildings now. They can't kill Queens, though. Lurkers on the ground, not too shabby. You know, I guess Snute could have done something like killing Observers in ZVP and tried to kill all the Overseers in ZvZ, but that's not what is happening. The Lurkers, they're dying, the Ultras are being transfused, and the Corruptors, they just took out that base I had mentioned, but was it worth losing all of the Lurkers? Snute doesn't have any gas right now. Enough minerals, and that's why he was able to double expand, but he doesn't have any gas. So, I mean, if he could make, like, 6 Broodlords, maybe he's definitely still in it, but... Well, the thing is, even if he made Broodlords, then he would just maybe lose the Corruptor War? It's 13-8 now. Things, I guess all the transfuses from the queens went into the ultras, and they just weren't there to help out, so Snute now really winning the Corruptor War. He's kiting the ultras, who again can no longer be transfused. Couple now coming back on those queens. But he took out one ultra, trying to look to this last one. How many transfuses left are there? With at least one more? No, he doesn't get it! Definitely have to get the energy, but I guess was chasing. I also want to like really note and drive home, like I think like 20 to 30 lings, like the last of them finally died, but like 2 minutes later after killing a couple of lurkers. Queens are now going down to these roaches that just took out 2 ultras. These roaches are kind of boss. And usually queens, it's like, well, they can't creep spread or they can't larva inject, but in this game, they're like important anti-air and transfuse machines. The Corruptors could go in here and save the roaches. That's exactly what he's trying to try and do here. It's very awkward though, because Overseers are just so fast, they just still run away from the Corruptors. But the roaches live! I mean, these 5 roaches are more important than you would think for being 5 roaches, but lings are just going to be so good against them. I mean, I think that's what TLO is like. Definitely one of his strengths in this 23-minute game has been speedlings running around and causing havoc and all that, but especially now as the game gets into this low economy point, these fast little buggers are just killing hatcheries, they're killing drones, they're killing lurkers. He gets around all the lurkers can't do very much. And they have definitely been the unsung heroes of this game. Snute now, again, trying to double expand. But there's, unfortunately there's not really a safe way to defend these. Even if he had lurkers, he'd be surrounded. If he had banelings, he'd need, quite a few of them. All of his gas that he was able to mine, too, from those bases while he had them, I think went into roaches, not broodlords. He did just take out this hatchery. I mean, the Corruptor's peeing. It's a pretty... they're not as fast, and quick at killing things, I guess, as the lings can be, but when they get ramped up with that pee, man, it actually goes down in a flash. There's no lifting, there's no splash damage here for TLO to stop the Corruptors from killing his bases. I think that's the same Ultra that was burrowed over here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. The Roachborn would have been a pretty good target. Doesn't get it, though. I think Snute just canceled this base, realizing the lings would have gone after it. TLO might also be in trouble of losing too many overlords. That would be a weird world. But he's 113 out of 132. And there's, like, definitely an opportunity for the Corruptors to dive deep and supply block them forever. What a weird game. Ultra's opening up more pathways for probably escape, but also probably for the lings. TLO... Yeah, I was gonna say, Snute really needs to kill these bases from TLO. He's actually split up his Corruptors, so 5 over here, 5 over there. This base was so not important, but he's gonna kill it anyways. Hey, if it's a base race, then that is important. That could be a situation here. This base, far more important. Full minerals, full gas, does go down. Saves the Corruptors from the queens. Saves his base, even though like 4 lings and a ton of damage to it. This game is not over. I don't know. I don't know if there's really a kill move for anyone, so my guess is going to go on for a while longer. Snute has, at this point, effectively saved this middle base from ling attacks. The Spine Crawlers are not only numerous and going to kill lings, they're also, like, running a little bit of that Sim City. I mean, without that type of setup, I think Snute is just going to lose his bases, so it's really unfortunate that he let this one finish. But it does die. 200 more minerals, not going to be given back. Corruptor is looking for more important important units. Overlord's usually not that important, but, again, they could kill him. But also these Vipers could have gone after that. They'd throw down a Parasitic Bomb or a couple on these Vipers, but luckily Parasitic Bomb, not as strong as it once was. The Corruptors, they got into that main base once before, doing it again, gonna get the rest of the important structures. The Hive goes down, the Spawning Pool and Station Pit And I guess the evolution chamber not as important, but still all that gonna go down. And there are the overlords. This is going to supply block TLO, and this is important minerals. Like, he's been using minerals, not building overlords, but more so building ultras and queens too, which is a very smart move by him. More transfuses, you know, the better the game's gonna look, and he's gonna go for the bust. There's so many spine crawlers, a decent number of roaches, but a couple of fungals, a couple of blinding clouds. I don't know if that's enough. Here come the transfuses. The Corruptor's gonna come back, but what can they really do? The Vipers have already used their spells. Ultras are... Oh my god, they're so close to dying, but the transfuses might just be too good. The drones have to give up this position. The roaches are gonna die out too. How many transfuses are left? He's got 2 on this queen. That would be it, but there's no more spine crawlers, there's no more roaches. He's down to 3 roaches and he's building 2 more. I don't think that takes on 3 ultras and 9 queens. 18 drones went down as they retreated as well, and I think this is just it. TLO has finally broken Snute, really with the power of Transfuse. The Vipers did a bit of their, you know, a great job. The Lings running around did a great job too, but at the end, right there, those Ultras all would have died if it wasn't for the Transfuses. GG! And after 28 minutes, TLO finally takes a game and ties it up 1-1.
Damn, dude. That is like the worst game to DC, bro. Good job. Let's get rapid into the next one in case my internet is gonna be dodgy.
Sure. That's,
that was a good game.
Yeah, it was. I am shocked that it went on like that. I really thought TLO was gonna win for so long, and then for like 8 minutes, because it was such a long game, I was like, well, wait a second. Hold on here. But that is going to send us into a break. We would have taken one anyways, but especially after a long game like that. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for watching that break. It was certainly a long game, and I think the casters didn't mind it either. There they are, ready to go now. So we have Zeph back, and then we have the backup caster that is rapid casting, in case she DCs again. Hopefully not going to happen.
Yes, fingers crossed. Yeah, Rapid's gonna carry the team if my internet's gonna be bullying me tonight. Hopefully it's not. I hate being that guy that's like super annoying to the players, but we'll see what happens. We're heading into Proxima Station for map number 3 in this best of 5.
Exactly. It's all tied up. And on the top right has the blue Zerg. It's Liquid TLO.
And in the bottom left, in the red trunks, this is Liquid Snute.
Oh, so we had one really quick game for the first game, with a shocking twist, and that just, you know, it just ended abruptly. And the second game was super damn long, with a shocking end that was queens being the true heroes. What bosses, what a boss TLO is too, for recognizing how important the transfuses are going to be. He was very consistent about making queens whenever he had the minerals to do so. I was impressed by both players there. I know Snute, like, I think Snute was always on the back foot. There's never a point where I thought Snute was legitimately going to win, but there's never a point where I thought like he should have tapped out, you know, at minute 12 or something like that. He was almost always in
exactly.
it.
Yeah, Snoot's playstyle, especially against that sort of muta style, because let's not forget, Snute was one of those dudes that would play that super patient swarm host type of thing. I think when he does have to sit back like that, I don't really fear for him, because he's very much one of those sort of slow and steady wins the race players when he needs to be. But I've got to say, lately I've been really impressed with TLO's ZvZ. I think his win rate in it is actually pretty good at the moment as well. But he's just got a really good grip on the matchup at the moment. So keen to see what he does in this game, because he seems to be one of those players that switches up the style a little bit more. A lot of people in ZvZ tend to either play really standard into Roach Ravager, or they do one of those sort of more Ling Bane intensive builds, but they kind of just switch between the two. I tend to see a little bit more variety from TLO, but as such, for this game, it looks like it's going to have a similar opening to the last one.
Yeah, gasless coming out here for both players. And it is Proxima, so you know you have that even even safer than Sequencer back base. Of course, Sequencer, they took the pocket base, but they do have rocks that can be broken down, and it can still be a liability. Proxima, not so much. But I'd be really shocked if TLO is saying, like, just like bag of builds, lots of different things. I'd be shocked if they did the exact same twist. They might still do a twist, but, you know, I'd be shocked if it's the exact same thing. And we do have a bit of a difference, which is not double gas, but just a single one, a little bit earlier than last game.
Yeah, so we will be able to at least get some speed out on the map and run around that way if he wants. This map does have a gold base, so when they dive into that fourth, the economy gets really crazy really fast, and you can, if you manage to hold on to that base, go into that hive tech really fast. As both players seem to be pretty willing to run up to lair and hive sooner rather than later. There's not actually all that much fighting going on in the early to mid game in the standard game that we've seen so far. I mean, I guess the first one's kind of a write-off because it's kind of like, oh, well, I guess that's over. But yeah, so I think Snute, again, probably with the roaches, he is grabbing that Evo chamber up first there.
Yeah, I slapped down 3 gases all at once for TLO, a little more staggered, and he did send the initial 100 gas into a lair. So, kind of like, I mean, a mixture of, I guess, the 2 last games. Point is, still a fast lair, skips the speed, but with that third base too. Snutes, they both don't really have a lot of scouting on each other, but they both have seen creep spread around the thirds, so they know, like, okay, you took the third, I took the third, you probably delayed your gas, I delayed my gas, etc., etc. But it is always a question of what else from, you know, beyond that. Obviously, TLO going for the Spire last game was a big surprise. This game, just Roach versus Roach. 1-1. Different ways of getting there. Same destination, though.
Yeah. It's kind of the old faithful build. Roach vs. Roach has been a thing forever at this point. And it's really cool to watch as well, especially when they're this even. It's going to be hard for either one to really find a gap in each other's defenses for a little while, so we may just see them try to expand. It looks like TLO is actually able to sneak a Ling into the main base here, though, so he can at least get a bit of a scout on what the tech choice is for Snute. He sees the lair timing there. Yeah. Nothing to note in the natural, but he actually does get through all the bases, so that's pretty awesome for him.
Mm-hmm. He even had an overseer just in case the Ling couldn't do its job, but he saw everything. Now barely seeing this 4th base being put down too at the gold, so he might just follow up with his own same idea. We did have an infestation pit though, and I was gonna say we might have swarm host. I remember TLO did this before. In fact, TLO is I think also the guy that went for swarm host drops on this map. I don't remember what matchup it was, but it was something funky, and I think Rifkin asked him why'd you do it, and he just was like, I'm not sure if it would work, but it ended up working. So maybe it's the new standard or something like that, right? I'm pretty sure this is the same guy, same map. But yeah, swarm host and ZvZ, what a thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a twist for you, right? Like, it's last unit I really expect to see in ZvZ. I know it's made a bit more of a comeback lately, but it seemed to me more so in ZVP than anything else. Yeah. That sort of cheeky harassment on a Nexus or something. But yeah, so we'll see how this goes. And I mean, it's a smart idea, right? Like, both of them are sitting back and relaxing, really. So if you can position those swarm hosts in a nice spot and start doing some harassment, at least it's some way to poke your opponent for free, provided that you don't lose your swarm hosts, obviously.
Right. And they're pretty speedy, so they should be able to get away most of the time. They're also just a big shock, so that should be another added benefit to them. 4 of them doesn't seem like a lot, but if all of the locusts get on top of a building, they still will kill that building. Mm-hmm. And it's just like enough too that you can have a decent sized army back at home. TLO though, a bit fearful here. He does have infestors, but I'm not sure where they popped out or if they even have energy. He is definitely going to lose the Roach War unless he can get a couple of fungals or queens, or just if Fan's Advantage starts kicking in. There was no fungals.
Oh, he doesn't have the upgrade just yet. The swarm hosts come back, but they're actually right in the firing line, and they're going to get shredded by the roaches up the back. And Snute is going to muscle his way into the natural here. TLO's doing his best to hold the choke, but it's too much. GG Snute goes up in the series 2-1. Damn, I was kind of hoping for a longer game with those swarm hosts.
Right? Well, of course, TLO was as well. But that is the fear, I guess. If they're gonna go to a fourth base and do nothing, then you should have plenty of time to fill that gap of supply. But that was like the exact right time to attack before the infested had fungals and before the swarmos could come back and help.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite an expensive move. You need just that little bit more time, like 1 minute, and he would have been fine, I think. So Snute really picked that fight quite well.
Well, potential last map is Snute is up 2-1 is going to be Odyssey, and then I think the last map is Defender's Landing, as I was talking about some games ago. Yeah, a nice big open map.
Yeah.
In here. I was just checking to see if we had any new subs or resubs. Thank you to TLO for the Twitch Prime. It's appreciated. We did have the Big One TV new sub 19 minutes ago, and Dovenwolf donated 200 bits. Thank you very much. And I guess as the broadcast started, we had Hazard Course resub for 7 months. Thanks, guys. Sorry for not getting those. This is a bit of a hectic opener with all the Skype thingamajigs and whatnot.
Yeah. Lots of support for BaseTradeTV. Always happy to see that. I love it. Every time I'm on this channel, it's like there's a huge list of people to go through for bits and donations and subs and resubs and stuff. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember the days when we would cast with 30 viewers. So I still just can't get over it when I see like the highlight reel of things coming in.
Yeah.
Those Twitch alerts.
Some days it's actually kind of insane, you know? Like, people see, like, it's a chain, right? People see that other people are subbing and donating, and so just keep on happening, and that's when we cast the Twitch chat more than we cast the game. Those days are fun, for sure. And maybe that'll happen today. Of course, we're casting this to start things off. Nighttime for us in this call right now, only early morning for Rifkin. But then later on, me and Rifkin are recasting the Corsair Cup, so it's a bit of a double day.
That's pretty awesome.
On Rifkin's birthday, so you guys should be throwing that support his way, just saying. But first, this best of 5 to another best of 5 into a best of 7 finals. In the top left, he is down 1. It is Liquid TLO.
And in the bottom right, in the red, this is Liquid Snute.
All right. What are you thinking? Another 3-hatch?
It could do, I guess. It's not quite as safe on this map to do that 3-hatch. So I don't know if they go for it unless they have one of those sort of gentleman's agreements, because it's a little ways to spread the creep between the bases. Especially when you've delayed that gas, you don't have that maneuverability with your queens and lings early on to try and defend if your opponent did actually go for the gas, but it doesn't even matter this time because they're both going to opt for the gas off the 2 base rather than going straight for that 3rd hatch.
Yeah, not surprising. The last 2 maps were something with an easier 3rd base as well as a bit of an easier choke to wall off quickly. So that definitely explains that. Odyssey being a very typical map, not quite that safe pocket 3rd base, but still okay to take. Kind of a big, not even a ramp, but big open area they would have to wall off. It would take forever. Yeah, not too surprised to see what they're doing here, but last time we saw a map that was a little more typical, the first game of the day, things went sideways real quick for TLO, who tried to do something a little bit greedy. Gotta see this time, not gonna do that. They both are getting speed with their first 100 gas. And they're both making a decent number of lings, too, to send out on the map.
I do wonder if we're going to see some juicy ling Bane Wars. They're both staying on the gas, and you do want to get that Baneling nest anyway, quite often, especially if they have their eye on a 3rd base kind of early. Because you're going to need the lings for either defense or the pressure, and you may as well have that Baneling nest for safety as well. So TLO has dived straight into the Baneling nest. Okay, and then we go, Snute is actually going to follow up after. So I guess the question here is if they're going to sit back and just try and drone up and keep tabs on each other, or if one of them actually wants to be a little aggressive and head in for it. And at this stage, I feel like it would be TLO's choice to be the aggressor. He does have a bit more gas at his disposal with the early Bane nest. He's already actually poking at the front here.
Yeah. Both of them sent their 6 lings out on the map, but Snute more like was like searching around with them. As you can see, split them up and all that. But right, TLO was the one that gathered more gas consistently. I think he's always had 3 out of 3 in his gas guys. Or Snute did like, 1 out of 3 and then 2 out of 3. And if ZvZ really did come down to the difference of like 1 or 2 banelings, then Snute could have lost. But they both are still droning. They both made defensive banelings, not offensive banelings, out in the map trying to get a sneaky run by. TLO is starting to make a couple more lings now as they take their 3rd bases, though, so this might just be to have them roam around.
Yeah, they've been pretty respectful of each other so far, all things considered. I mean, this is only small amounts of units being committed to the aggression here. TLO is actually doing a nice job at making sure he gets a couple of kills here and there. He's managed to pick off 3 drones so far. Snute hasn't been quite so lucky. He knows about these banelings, right? This is making me anxious.
Right? I feel like he should. He just needs to get his lings back home. They were trying to take out banelings in the middle of the map, which means that they're getting back now as the banelings more. If there's 3 of them, that's a little scary, but 1 survives. That's not so bad.
Yeah. Pulls off just the necessary amount of time and not a minute longer. Very well done by Snute handling that. At the same time, though, TLO is going to continue trying to throw some lings at this 3rd base. He's actually winning these little ling fights, so he may have an opportunity to deny this. Snoot's got another 12 lings coming. With the queens, actually, he should be able to defend it, but man, TLO's really going for it. He's actually going to surround on these queens as well. They're buying a lot of time for the rest of the lings to come out from Snute, though. Only 1 baneling out here to contend with the rest of Snoot's lings. At this point, it looks like he will hold.
That should be it with that last baneling going down. TLO was transitioning into his own drones, his own Roachborn, a couple more queens. So, I mean, all in all, damage done. He got his, a little bit ahead, although it's evening up once again, and he got a couple of queens too. But it was, I think, a very evening factor, not necessarily anyone getting huge leaps and bounds ahead. Snute's counter-aggression is going to see what it can do. Maybe not a lot, but it... Okay, that was a little bit scary. Okay. But I was going to say it might see the roach timing. He did barely see the roaches there. I mean, his Roachborn still isn't done, but now that he's seen the roaches at TLO, I think he's going to be spamming the roach button. And he should, because TLO's not stopping to make more drones.
Oh, yeah. Even a spine coming down because he knows he's going to be in trouble in just a second. 2 spines, in fact. He has a +1 coming on the way, and that's great, but not for a little while. It's not going to be very useful for him at all, so he's going to use queens, banelings, whatever he can to try and hold on here. Another spine again coming down, 8 roaches on the way, so he should be able to hold if he can get those out and get a good position. But with the roach bane of TLO, this is going to pack a pretty big punch. Those spine crawls are also just barely not finished yet either, and he's coming in with all these banelings, all these lings. The drones are possible off the line. Is he going to have enough to hold on?
Oh my god, the control coming out here defensively from Snute to save both his drones and his lings against TLO's banelings was kind of insane. A spine crawler barely is able to help out, not too much, but a little bit, and looks like Snute will hold on. But keep in mind, no one has a lair already. That wasn't one of those situations, and Snute had to cancel his +1. I think he was trying to make as many roaches as possible with that, or maybe it was the banelings, but either way, this was not like an all-in that Snute just had to hold. He had to hold pretty well, and then some, and then continue on with a macro game. So TLO, it's once again kind of an even game, even engagement.
Yeah. What a hold. That was actually so crazy. But yeah, they're even on workers, even on bases. The roach count is heavily in Snute's favor at this point, though, so he is able to move out on the map here and do a bit of a counterattack. He is also getting the earlier lair, so he will have roach speed a little bit sooner, which will let him keep up the pressure on his opponent if he wants. But with his queens and extra defenses coming out from TLO, it looks like Snute has outstayed his welcome here on TLO's side of the map. He's going to have to try and micro his way out of there with what he has left.
Well, luckily his micro isn't so bad. Takes out the lings, but yeah, that was initially scary when he brought out the roach count, how much it was in favor of Snute, but there was just just because TLO had so many lings. And they ended up doing their job along with the queens. Nicely held. Snute did get a bit of a drone lead off the back of that, as well as plop down a 4th base at the gold, something that TLO has not seen yet. Potentially going to get away with that. But TLO, I mean, just constant back and forth here as they both are always at least attempting to see like if their opponent could defend. Okay, well, actually, he knew about the gold base. That's going to be a cancel, I think. Should be
Yeah. Yeah, no, he can't save that at the moment. So he does stop him from getting too much of an advantage there. And his own 4th base is coming up at the moment, so if he can hold on to that, that'll be great for him. Because he is a little bit behind on the tech, the +1, and the speed isn't too far off kicking in for Snute. So he'll have a nice timing to hit there. He's a little up on the roaches, but not too much. It's really going to be the attack upgrade that's going to be the difference there. And he might sprinkle in a couple more roaches, ravages rather. That will make things a little bit difficult. At the same time, TLO is going to try and buy himself a little bit of extra time to pump out some roaches with these small lings running by into the main. He's actually very good at getting these lings in the main, I gotta say.
Yeah. Definitely distracts Snute's forces. Snute has now equalized the upgrades 1-to-1, but he had much faster speed. If you wanted to move forward and control the flow of the game as well as just have that little bit of extra micro, better concave, well, he could have. But I think the timing might have been missed now because he's still sending a lot of extra reinforcements through the map. I mean, this is a large force. They're just missing like roaches here, roaches there, roaches over there.
It is. I mean, we're looking at 44 roaches to 37 in the favor of Snute with the upgrade. But like you said, you know, it's kind of... both their forces are kind of spread out a little bit. But he's coming in for it now. I think the concaves are slightly better for TLO on the ground here. Some of the roaches are still trying to come down the ramp and come up from the south. If he gets a good wraparound, he will be able to take out a fair chunk of those roaches. But so far, TLO's defense has been pretty good.
Yeah, now he takes the roach lead. He also managed to squeeze in +1 carapace, whereas Snutes decided to go for burrow and tunneling claws. TLO only just adding that now. So always interesting to see the order of things, I suppose. I mean, if they do manage to get maxed out on roughly even upgrades and all that, then it's a question of like who adds on the infestation pit after that. But it might just stick around on roaches for a very long time.
Yes, indeed. And TLO able to fend off these small group of roaches coming in from the left, and he himself is now going to try and venture out a little bit and see if he can put a bit more pressure onto Snute now that he has the roach speed, now that he has the upgrades. In fact, he has the faster +2 upgrades, so he'll actually hit with that, and he's coming in with a bunch more ravages and roaches behind this. Snute knows this, of course. They're both maxed out, and at the moment, TLO's got a much better position on the top of the ramp there. Got to be a little bit careful, but he is actually zoning Snute out from his main and natural.
Yeah, Sprankle not able to help a lot. TLO has the numbers here, but the Farron's advantage might just kick in for Snute enough.
Oh yeah, that is a huge sandwich there. He's actually gotten stuck in a really bad spot. He's going to lose all these roaches, and this has become a really good engagement for Snute on the right-hand side here. It looks like TLO cleaned up the roaches that were on the left there, but he is holding strong here on his side of the map.
That was really important as well, because TLO was going to have his 2-1 kick in before Snute's 2, but the positioning was just so much better for Snute. Also a couple more Corrosive Bile, Ravagers, all that, and that ended up giving Snute a lead, up 20 army supply. There's a couple of roach or drones at his gold base, now realizing both of them have Tunneling Claws. If that wasn't just, noticed with the graphical upgrade. And, well, TLO might be down a little bit in supply, just have that +1 carapace, as well as just, I think, a lot of time to maneuver around and make up for that.
Yeah, for sure. TLO's actually got a slightly better economy with a few more drones in there, but considering that Snute has the gold base, it doesn't really matter at this point, and he's got the disposable minerals to start investing that into some static defense. He's actually getting Overlord speed and carapace upgrades behind this, and he's still keeping up the aggression on the TLO side of the map. In fact, he's pushing right into this, taking quite a few bile hits to the face in the back line there. Not sure if he has enough to push through here. TLO's quite spread out himself. I actually have no idea who's winning this.
Yeah, it's pretty close, but it looks like Snute might just be snowballing a little bit. Suddenly 21 to 13 roaches.
There we go.
I mean, it's very small differences, and I think TLO's reinforcements might just be coming out in time. Well, maybe they would if he had the money. Actually, he is running out of money real quick. Like, his spine crawlers move. I thought that actually might have been a bad move, but they do end up being enough with the roaches. And Snute does pull back, but that was scary. It is scary. Snute is still up 40 supply. His next attack might just have even upgrades too. I mean, that attack went so well for him, and he was down an upgrade.
Yeah, TLO ended up holding there, but the thing is, Snoot's going to keep up with this flood of units. And as you said, he's kind of running out of money. It's not quite as easy for him to hold on here. And Snute is a good, 30 supply up at this point. He's just really trying to find the right angle to attack from, consolidating his forces. He's moving to the natural here, and TLO's kind of stuck towards this fourth base at the moment. So he can't actually get through this ramp, through this choke position. He's going to have to use the biles to force Snute back. Some units coming in from the third base are just getting picked off as they try and roll in. But it does give TLO the chance to move up onto this high ground and get a bit of a better concave, but he's still struggling to break through this wall of roaches from Snute.
Yeah. A lot of queens with transfuses died being caught in the middle, and the roach numbers are definitely still in Snute's favor. He also managed to take that fight exactly as his Carapace upgrade finished, so that was pretty perfect. But not wanting to overstay his welcome, moves on, moves away, starts his +2 Carapace, so we'll have a lead in most apartments. Might be 3 drones down, but the gold base made up for that. It is starting to run out, so he definitely needed this 5th, but he has it. It's already done. He just transferred drones to it.
Yes, indeed. So that's up and running. TLO's going to venture out here and try and bring some hurt. He does get caught in the middle of the map by Snute's forces, though, and he does promptly back up out of there. Snute's really got good control of the map at the moment. He's aware of the gold base going down in the left as well. He's got an overlord or something down there, too. So it looks like he's maybe heading towards that location if he can to try and deny it. But at this point, because he does have that army advantage, 60 roaches over 36, I think he's happy to fight wherever he can get a good position.
Yeah. A little hesitant to go up the ramp or into a concave, so he definitely does want to draw TLO to him. But, TLO is going to eventually have to. He's going to have to defend that gold base. Now, Snute's, he has a little bit extra supply. They are both getting maxed out again. He has so much extra bank. That's his real advantage here. He could certainly take, a couple of roaches and just try and tunneling claws his way over to that gold, but not currently going to do that. TLO is going to try and add an infestation pit. Certainly fungal, corrosive bile combinations could easily make up for the upgrade and take really cost-efficient engagements.
Yeah, indeed he could. That Carapace so close to kicking in, but TLO is going to take the opportunity here, starts throwing down some biles. And, just going to take a breather for a moment here. Snute continuing to expand behind this. Kind of surprised with the comfortable position that he has, that he hasn't really gone full hive yet. Oh, never mind. He's got the infestation pit coming in. But I like this move from TLO, starting to throw in some burrowed roaches. That could definitely get something going in his favor here. He should get a few drone kills here at the very least.
Yeah. Just bypass that gold, realizing there's nothing there. There's also an attack on the gold base, but also a main attack in the middle. Yes, they both decide not to go for that attack, but Snute has so many roaches at the gold. He's going to cancel his spine crawlers. It looks like TLO is going to be able to respond in time, save his gold base, save his drones while killing 10 plus over on Snute's side of the map. He just never pulled his drones away. He thought an opportunity in multiple locations. Maybe didn't think it'd be worth it. Quite unfortunate, as he was already down in drones, but he's banking so much, he just instantly remakes 12 of them.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. He cleans that up. His drone count's still looking healthy. His bases, he's just having a lot easier time expanding because he's been in TLO's face pretty much the entire game from the first roach push. The TLO's trying to combat that by doing this sort of multi-pronged attacking with these roaches, and it is sort of working for him. Snute has to run back. He is out of position for these. But they haven't really been able to do a huge amount of damage just yet. Snute is actually still heading across the map with a few of these roaches, and he catches the other half. So, looks like for the moment, TLO not actually able to get much more damage done on top of that. TLO does have a huge number of Ravagers now, though. 14 have come into the mix, so if they do a big head-on engagement, he should have a little bit more control, just from the pure amount of biles that he's going to have access to.
Yeah. And he was very good about sniping the Ravagers, too, with that army that was constantly trying to disengage. Fungals were ready to go. Snute wasn't expecting that, but luckily only a handful got caught, and he is still with a much, much bigger bank. He's on so many extra bases. I'd still have a lot of mining to be done, and he did replace those drones. They both have infestors. They both are getting the hive. They both are getting spine crawlers and spore crawlers, and this could be still a very long game, despite Snoot's having the advantage. Most of the game at this point, I think, like certainly for the last 8 minutes, I want to say, he's been taking the better fights. He's been, getting the faster upgrade and the bigger army. But TLO's just been buying time and pulling them back and harassing them quite well, evening things out.
That's the thing. Yeah. As many advantages as Snoot's been able to find in this game, he still hasn't been able to kill TLO or deal that crippling blow, right? So TLO is definitely doing a fantastic job here. He runs into the goal base. There's actually not anything there anymore, just a couple of gas drones. He will take those out. He's going to take the hatchery out as well. Snoot's actually too far away from that to respond. At the same time, some roaches going into the 4th base, and he's going to be attacking over here at the gold of TLO, who tries to catch a couple of units here. Cheeky Fungal goes down, but is not actually able to save that base.
Yeah. I wonder which one... So TLO has actually mined out of most of their bases. He has this one still ready to go, I suppose. But losing that gold was a big blow. But he's going to kill Snoot's, what was his 3rd, so that's mostly mined out, but there are a lot of drones on it. He killed quite a few drones over here, too. 20 in total, putting down Snoot to 34. Yeah. He does still have a lot of larvae, especially if he remembers this larva over here, to replace that, and he is replacing it, but I wonder... I think that still went better for Snute. I mean, he's also on his way to Greater Spire, which is pretty big. Still have that upgrade advantage, both of them starting +3, and he could expand again, is a thing too, such a big mineral bank.
Yeah, he certainly could. He's got a lot more money to play with, so he's going to be feeling a bit more comfortable in this position. I like that TLO's double expanding here as well. That's actually a nice fungal. Be able to take out all those units for very little cost, if any at all.
Yeah.
And it has taken the wind out of Snoot's sails a little bit, these multi-prongs he's done, because he's had to take a second to sort of regroup, fortify these bases, and get drones back to work. But yeah, he's still just in that better position with the economy.
Yeah, Snoot still has that bigger bank, but TLO's double expanded, and they're even on drones, so he could maybe get more consistent income because Snute will be mining out of these minerals a bit faster. Okay, there's finally a new base for him. The unit count's also, I feel like, actually favoring TLO. Just the type. He has 6 more Ravagers and 4 more Infestors, and I feel like this game could come down. Oh, I didn't see the Broodlords, never mind. Well, the Broodlords might just change everything, but I was going to say, if it was just a pure ground army, then I feel like TLO's, more of the Corrosive Bile Fungal combination could have worked out better. But it's only 3 Broodlords, so will that actually be able to help? Lots of attacks going down. This base looks like it might just die, but all the Ravagers are over here, so TLO doesn't actually want to take this trade. Unfortunately, he's kind of forced
Although
to.
he's fighting those Ravagers straight up against those vanilla roaches, and they're losing horribly. So these units are starting to get cleaned up. He does take out the base, which is great for TLO, but he's losing the bulk of his army in return, which is really quite rough for him here. He can't replace it. He's actually out of money at this point. He's not even mining gas anymore. Although he does have those new bases, he could potentially take that extra gas, but too little too late. GG, Snute takes it.
Yeah, takes the game, takes the series. Quite an interesting ZvZ, though. I mean, I feel like, head-to-head battle, that is TLO's with the Corrosive Bile Fungals. But Snute just, he seemed to take better fights, better positioning. It's too bad. TLO was close to getting his economy back up, close to getting that bank back. But damn, that was a bad fight. He was down 60 army supply in a flash. So that's it for this semifinal. The top 4 are paid out though, so TLO still walks away with $100, which is pretty nice. But Snute is going to go on to the grand finals to face the winner of Euthermal and Lambo. Now we're going to be taking a break, but when we come back, it's going to be me and Rapid casting that ZVT, and you will see Zeph again in the finals with Rifkin as me just as a idle observer. So that's the plan, guys. We'll get the vetoes done and come back as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.